right. Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 6 of the Alpha Primal podcast. Thank you for tuning in to last week's episode where we talked about, what did we talk about? Episode 5.
Movement.
Movement. There, thank you. The how and why. Thank you. Yes, the how and why of movement. So if you didn't get a chance to check out that episode, look back, and we are now streaming on
Podbean,
SoundCloud, and Facebook, and soon to be YouTube. I've been lazy about YouTube. I haven't gotten it on there yet.
Get on it.
It's me, I know. But yeah, for those of you who do want to listen to it more on the go, check it out. I know I use Podbean.
To listen to different podcasts.
To listen to different podcasts, and I haven't used SoundCloud as much, but I do know that that's something that some of our users may use. So I want to make this more available to everybody out there, everybody out in the Alpha Primal family. Today we're going to be Ashley is going to be talking about more of like elimination diets. Yeah. Let's go into that. What is an elimination diet? Where do we start?
So, elimination diet just kind of is self-explanatory. Means that you're eliminating.
Arden's right there. If you guys are watching us on the video blog, Arden's with us today. She's making her debut.
So elimination diet. So it just means that you're going to be eliminating a potential inflammatory food or food group to see if it affects you in any way. So like if you have an intolerance or an allergy to a certain food group, you would potentially want to try an elimination diet. So some of the symptoms.
Is an elimination diet just for those purposes, finding what you're allergic to?
Not necessarily. You can do the elimination diet like if basically the reason you would want to do it is if you eliminate a food group.
Originally to find out if you are allergic to that. Okay.
Or not necessarily allergic, but intolerant or have some kind of negative effect on your body.
Right.
So if you are experiencing some of these symptoms that I'm about to list, these are reasons why you might want to try an elimination diet. So if you have chronic inflammation, if you have arthritis, if you have acne, bloating, digestive problems, bowel movement issues, eczema, those are some symptoms.
Eczema. Really?
Some
from diet?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Something I didn't know.
Well, because it's kind of like an inflammatory response.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I never I would have associated that with food.
So
I sometimes struggle with that. You know me.
Well,
I don't know if it's eczema. I definitely have some sort of skin condition, whether it be eczema or like, I don't know if it's full-blown like psoriasis. I've seen people with psoriasis, and that can be pretty terrible, pretty detrimental. Like I feel really bad. Like, so I don't think it's that bad, but my scalp gets really super dry. Man. Oh man. So we got to start eliminating.
We have done eliminating. We know what works. We know what we feel best with.
True. Okay. So what are some of the things what are some of the elimination diets that you've sort of gone through? What have you eliminated from your diet?
So, obviously the big one for me is the Whole30, where you're pretty much eliminating all of these different,
Hey.
all of these different inflammatory or.
Uh-oh. We may have a little introduction here. She wants to interrupt. She doesn't like to be left out of the conversation.
So the Whole30 is the main elimination diet that I've tried, and that's when you're removing gluten, dairy, legumes, soy, I think that's it, from your diet. And you do that for 30 days, and then you have a reintroduction period where you reintroduce the food, and we'll kind of go over that in a little bit. But the Whole30 is probably the biggest one, and it removes all those food groups. So you don't necessarily have to do it that hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
You can
That hardcore as in
all of these.
eliminating all of those allergens.
Right.
Gotcha.
So you
Or
can
potential allergens.
try doing just one at a time. So, for example, dairy, cut that out, or gluten, etc. The main different things that you might want to eliminate are gluten, dairy, legumes, nuts, eggs, nightshade vegetables. Some people have problems with, which is like tomatoes, eggplants, white potatoes. So sometimes even you have to go like the next level and not just eliminate.
I like those nightshades.
I know, me too. That would be hard.
That would be hard.
But if they cause you problems.
Yeah, that's true. No, absolutely. So
those are some of the things that you would eliminate.
With those ones, are you still recommending and saying let's like 30 days if you're gonna be doing an elimination style diet, say like I want to see if I'm allergic to dairy. Are you doing that for 30 days?
I would say you should do it at least for 3 weeks, if not 4.
Okay.
To really get the full effect. So you can't just go like, oh, I didn't eat
dairy today. Yeah. Right.
And, or say one day or 1 week. You really have to let it set in.
Yeah.
Or, have your body really detoxify from it and then see.
Yeah. I don't think people
commit to that long.
Well, I don't know that people do commit, because like I was actually I'm messing around with one of my clients right now with her diet, because she's been working out with me for about 8 months now, and she's doing really great, but she's always coming in saying I want to lose this weight around my waist, and it's been a problem, I wouldn't say it's not a problem, but it's been a target area, focus area for her in her mind. So I tried to introduce her to what you're just talking about. I know we were talking about this a little bit ago, and I wanted to introduce this to her and one of my clients. And when I was like, okay, because we talked about eliminating sugar completely, just eliminate sugar for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh yeah, sugar is another big one.
She didn't do it. It's like, oh yeah, I did it, and then and then she's going over her diet or going over what she's doing, and she's like, yeah, my friend and I just went over to Five Guys. I'm like, how did you manage to stay without sugar with going to Five Guys burger? I don't get that.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I mean definitely people do think it's impossible when you say like remove this from your diet. But wouldn't you rather like cure or find the problem
for sure
behind your eczema, your inflammation, your digestive issues? Wouldn't you rather try, for 21 to 20 to 30 days, removing one thing? Like, you aren't going to die. You'll survive without sugar. You'll survive without gluten or milk or cheese or whatever you think you really need.
I thought I was never going to get away from peanuts and peanut butter until, I met my lovely wife, who is allergic to peanuts and peanut butter.
And you can only have them when I go on vacation.
Yes, I'm only allowed to have them on vacation. Those are the times where I cheat. But I mean, it's not even something that I think about, and it's so just not a part of our diet that it's or our habits and our routine that it just doesn't even cross my mind. And that, I would say that's like that with a couple of other things. Like, I mean, we don't do a lot of dairy. It messes with me.
If you think about it, like nowadays, it's very popular that people are realizing that they have these intolerances.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many different alternatives. If you, Google or go on Pinterest and say gluten-free this, or, gluten-free pancakes or gluten-free, whatever, you'll find all different types of options.
Mm-hmm.
Gluten-free pizza or, different milk alternatives. Now there's almond milk.
We just had gluten-free pizza. It was pretty good.
There's lots of alternatives to these foods that you don't have to, you aren't going to die without pizza.
Mm-hmm.
You could still have an alternative.
So how would I know if I'm allergic to something without intolerant, I should say?
So I would say do the elimination diet for 3 to 4 weeks. So
Mm.
eliminate that food group or all of them, like in a Whole30 kind of setting. So you eliminate sugar, dairy, gluten for 3 to 4 weeks. Then after that time period, you reintroduce that food group for one day. And if you do multiple food groups, only reintroduce one at a time.
So like when you're doing the Whole30.
Yes. So if you do like the Whole30 and you eliminate all of them, so then on day one of introduction, now you're going to reintroduce dairy only.
Mm.
And so say for that day you have some milk with breakfast, you have cheese on your salad at lunch, you have
Yogurt at
yogurt,
night.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
So you try to introduce it that one day. Then for the next 2 days, go back to not. The next 2 days, go back.
Hey, little one. What did you want to say about elimination diets?
He wants the cheese.
He's on an all dairy diet.
So you're going to reintroduce that food group and then for one day. And then for the next 2 days, go back to the elimination diet. So not eating dairy and see how you feel. So has it affected your mood? Has it affected your sleep? Has it affected your energy level? Did you notice anything different with your digestion? So have you had headaches? Pay attention to how you feel. If you don't notice any of those symptoms, then okay, dairy, you're probably good.
Right.
So then after those 2 days, you have the clear. Now try to reintroduce gluten.
Mm-hmm.
And then so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you really want to reintroduce sugar. You should still try to limit your sugar and take to natural things like
fruits. Right. I agree.
Dark chocolate. I think that's natural.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Is that natural? Yeah.
We can continue saying it's natural.
So definitely you're going to pay attention to how you feel once you reintroduce, and also paying attention during that elimination time. So after 2 weeks, you're getting to 3 weeks. Are you feeling better? Do you have more energy? Are you sleeping better? Then you notice, okay, since I've removed this, I can tell that I'm feeling better and all those things. So it has to be something that you've eaten.
What specifically from your diet have you noticed that has sort of made you inflame? Or you're intolerant to? I should be more specific.
Definitely like dairy, like if it's like a heavy cream or something, that really messes my stomach up.
Mm-hmm. Alfredo sauce.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the Alfredo sauce.
I mean, I like it. I like how it tastes. I just don't like the effects.
Can you imagine that? For one of the first dates, I put this girl in a headache and from the Alfredo sauce. It was just terrible. She felt like she was gonna throw up.
But
I was doing. This silly Italian guys coming over.
Hey, it still worked out.
It did work. Put off my skills. Sorry.
Also gluten. I do feel better when I'm not eating a lot of bread and heavy gluten, but I really don't eat.
I was gonna say we don't put that
pasta.
in our house.
Yeah. We haven't since we've done the Whole30. We kind of have eliminated it as something as we eat. We don't eat bread daily. We don't eat sandwiches.
No.
Don't have pasta.
I would say for the most part, what our grain or our starch is potatoes. We'll do quinoa.
Rice. Wild rice sometimes.
Wild rice sometimes, soup. Yeah. I particularly love wild rice soup.
But that's mainly all we have for the kind of carbohydrate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's definitely something that's very interesting. At least for myself, one of the things that I've noticed is because along with you, I'm very intolerant to dairy. And one thing that I guess looking back on is I was living in a constant state of inflammation.
Or
Just
you just didn't know.
didn't, yeah, I was
You
just
didn't
so
realize
used
there
to
was a
it.
better side.
Right. I was just so used to one way and just this, this is how I feel. Oh, it must have been
Because
a hard
when
workout the other day, and
we first met, you used to have a lot of stomach issues
oh yeah. Oh,
when
for
we were
sure.
first dating.
Yeah.
There would be times where you wouldn't eat for like 8 hours or almost the whole day,
Oh yeah, for sure.
just because of how messed up your stomach would be.
Yeah. I mean, there would be bouts. And I can't remember the last time it's happened just because of what we have eliminated, but there were times where I'd be waking up in the middle of the night just
Throwing up.
just to get whatever was in my stomach out, and I'm getting sick. Yeah. So it's very nice not to have to do that anymore.
Yeah. You don't realize that, okay, what you're doing, what you're eating is affecting you
Right.
this negatively just because you were so used to it.
Right.
And that's what some people think who do like a Whole30. They say, okay, when I tried to eat gluten again, it made me feel sick. So obviously the Whole30 made me intolerant to
Right.
gluten. Well, no, it didn't. You were always intolerant to gluten and you always,
Just constantly living in this
yeah,
state of
you felt like
inflammation.
that all the
Yeah.
time. So that was your normal.
Yeah.
But now you've felt better. You've had this new normal where you have so much energy and you might have lost some weight or
Aches and
some,
pains have gone away here and there, just that
yeah.
inflammation around the joints. Yeah. Yeah.
And now you think, okay, because I ate gluten, oh, Whole30 made me allergic or made me intolerant. No,
No, no,
you were already
sorry.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you did that with any other food group, if you didn't eat, chocolate or something, and then you ate chocolate again, you wouldn't say, okay, well, I must be
Allergic to chocolate.
because I didn't eat it for 30 days.
Right.
No,
No. No, it doesn't pop up spontaneous like
no,
that.
yeah.
I mean, unless you were pregnant and had these huge hormone fluctuations, then yes, there can be possibilities of allergen changes. But no, I agree with you. Um, so the Whole30 is not a
Lifestyle.
lifestyle diet.
No.
It is literally an experimental.
Yeah, and that's what kind of why I wanted to try it as like an experiment,
Mm,
like kind of like a science experiment with your
yeah.
body. You're going to test it out and you're going to, first kind of an experiment with your willpower to make sure that you can't
Yes.
eat or you're not eating sugar and dairy and all that stuff.
We've
Then
done it a
you
couple times.
then you survive it.
It's easier.
Yeah. And then you do the reintroduction. And when you're reintroducing, that's when you find out what your new normal can look like.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can base your diet off of it. And it doesn't mean that you have to eliminate it forever, but you eliminate it mostly. And then when you do eat that dairy or something, you probably will pay for it the
Yeah.
next day. You might have a headache or you might.
Like gluten. We love pasta. I love pasta. I'm gonna go to a family party and not eat pasta that my family's made. Get real.
But you
That's
don't eat it
something.
on the normal.
I don't eat it regularly. I mean, that's something that we don't even make on a special occasion at night. I mean, if it's like a Saturday night when we're making something between the two of us, we won't. I don't think the thought process ever crosses our mind of doing like a big pasta dish.
No.
But that's more of what we've
Just
grown
the
to do.
habits,
Yeah, what
yeah.
we've grown in, what our habits are. So yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I mean we've done the Whole30 before. I like the Whole30.
I think it's a great tool to, set yourself up and definitely learn new things about yourself and how you
Yeah.
eat and what you depend on. You get used to thinking that every time you eat dinner, then you deserve a snack afterwards or
Mm,
something. Well, really, once you break that habit, you realize that you really don't need to.
yeah.
And the Whole30 doesn't ever restrict you from eating a specific amount. It
Right.
tells you
It's
eat
not portion
however,
control.
right, eat however much you want of these foods.
Yeah.
So fill yourself up on vegetables and protein and healthy fats.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
if you, I kind of lost my train of thought.
No, I mean that is interesting because you see that kind of mentality in a lot of diets. I know one of the big commercial ones that Jenny Craig, is that I think that's the point system. That's the
No,
point
it's,
system. Nutrisystem. What's the
Weight
one with the
Watchers.
wait? Thank you. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, Weight Watchers. It'll whenever I have a client who's on Weight Watchers, they're like, "Oh yeah, fruits and vegetables are 0 points." I'm like, well, I mean, I don't. I guess yes, you can eat as much as you want of those, and that's fine. Um, and then the bad stuff has all the points in it, so I get that, and that's great. That's a great sort of mentality, but I don't think people think of it in terms of that. They just think of it in terms of the chocolate cake is 16 out of the 23 points that I have, but
But
screw it, I'm gonna do it anyway.
and not to knock Weight Watchers, if that works for
No, no,
you,
of
then
course not.
that's, then that works for you. But it's not also showing you that really the best way to eat is,
Well, the one thing
lessen your ingredient list.
Yeah. Well, and I think the one thing I really did enjoy about the Whole30, because I've tried the paleo, I've tried all those other ones. The one what I really liked about the Whole30 was it really taught you how to meal prep and prep your food and make sure it's prepped proper. Like just like you're prepping everything for the most part in the Whole30, unless you find a way to go to Chipotle every day. You're
Or
prepping.
are at home and can make every meal.
Yeah, or you're at home, right? And right, exactly. But it was definitely an eye opener of like making it a priority and
And
doing that.
don't you think that you should make your health a priority?
100% yes. So
So does that mean that if you have to take 2 to 3 hours out of your one day a week to make your health a priority, that you should or shouldn't do that?
what? But you're asking me this. This is not a question for me.
I know, I'm
I
just
absolutely
saying
agree.
it
No,
rhetorically.
but you're absolutely right. I think one thing that definitely the viewers out there should be listening into and tune into. I think it's really, really important for people to treat their bodies as someone they're responsible for taking care of. So when you have a sick relative, when you have a sick grandma, grandpa, or if you have a sick pet, I've seen people take care of their pet better than they take care of themselves.
They'll make their pet food,
Yeah.
but they won't make themselves
Oh, that
food.
drives me crazy when I hear about that. I'm like, get out of here. What the hell's wrong with you? You're making a steak dinner for your dog, and you're
Eating chicken nuggets from
nuking the
McDonald's.
hot pocket. Get the fuck out of here. But no, like I said, I think the one thing I would love for people to start understanding it, and for them to get from you is take care of yourself like you would take care of a loved one that you're responsible for taking care of. I mean, that just resonates in my mind. It makes sense in my mind. So that was sort of one thing. One thing I did want to ask you, sort of segue into, would you consider restricting or limiting calories or eliminating calories in an elimination diet?
No, I wouldn't combine the two things.
You're reaching with that one. Someone would be reaching. I'm saying not you necessarily.
Oh, I wouldn't combine like doing too many things at once. So like
Mhm.
cutting back on your calorie intake, plus eliminating a lot of foods that you've been normally eating is kind of probably too many things at once.
Right.
And that makes it harder. So you're already restricting yourself from eating the chocolate and
You're really hammering away this
the
chocolate.
sam.
Is this something that is one of your vices?
Yes.
Okay. I knew that.
So
I knew that answer already.
so you're already eliminating these foods, and then you're going to restrict how much you have to eat, on top of that.
Mm,
So I think that's why the Whole30 says eat however much you want,
mm-hmm. Because
because
you're already doing a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So don't do too many things at once,
Yeah.
is what I would say.
Yeah. And the Whole30 is a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's 30 days. So once you nail down those,
Can't believe eating for 30 days
that's what they say.
though.
Once you
Let's get that
nail
dragon's
down
blood.
those, yeah.
There's a part that's called the dragon's blood. I love the part with the dragon's blood. I get pumped. My workouts just goes through the roof. Sorry.
Once you eliminate once you find out what foods you do need to eliminate, then you can play with your calorie intake, I would say,
Mm.
after the 30 days, after the reintroduction. Then if you want to do additional weight loss things on top of that, a weight loss plan or something like that, then you can look at that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't do it as a combination.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
The other thing that I did want to say is, in order to set yourself up for success when doing an elimination diet, is to clean out your pantry. Remove the things that you can't eat, because
Fiend at night.
if
I'm
they
a
are
fiend.
there, you will probably eat them.
The crackers are here? Oh my god, they're gone. The Cookie Monster, no, the Chip Monster.
Chip Monster.
The Chip Monster comes out. Yeah, it's terrible.
So I would definitely pay attention to that. Clean out your pantry.
Good tip.
Plan and prep, as we always say, meal prep, but plan your meals ahead. Don't leave something up for the day of and then you have no food and then you run to the fast food place or order something. Make sure you're planning and prepping your meals.
Mm-hmm.
And the last part is to avoid tempting situations. So
You go to the club that night.
Drinks out with your coworkers, if that's where you always, get appetizers, or
Booty shaking.
avoid out.
Down at the club for me.
Avoid going out to eat on date night if you can't make a healthy choice. So instead, date night.
Away for 30 days, people.
Not helping.
What? I can't.
You're being very distracting.
Oh my gosh! Go ahead, keep going.
Instead of going out to eat for date night, stay inside. Make food together. Make a fun meal together.
Ooh, those are fun. We like doing that.
Grill out. There's lots of fun, different ways that you can make food together.
Yes.
So try a new recipe.
And fellas, it's really impressive when a guy can cook for a girl.
It is.
I'm just saying. Learn how to cook, Brandon. I love you.
Oh, wow.
He's my brother-in-law. I can say that.
Calling him out. Hopefully he doesn't listen.
No, hopefully he does listen. He needs to hear this.
So those are definitely some tips to kind of help set yourself up for success. But I definitely would consider trying eliminating some of these things.
For sure. So if it was like, where would you start as far as elimination diets go? Like if somebody wasn't going to go whole hog and go whole 30, which is something I would recommend. I mean, honestly, if you're willing to take that plunge and ready, you've committed to other types of diets in the past, you can get through the 30 days. It's 30 days. It's really not that bad. You can do it for 30 days, guys. Please. It's a cakewalk.
What would I start with?
Yes. What would you start with?
I would say gluten and dairy are the two most intolerant food groups that you should try to eliminate. So maybe just try those two, or try one at a time. But I would, if you could, try both at one time.
Now, are you usually supplementing during these elimination diets with anything? Any sort of multivitamin, iron, vitamin D? No, you're not usually supplementing with anything.
Not typically. I mean, if you're eating vegetables and you're eating nutritious food, you should be getting all of your
nutrients.
Yeah.
I was just it was a question I had.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like to ask those questions.
Definitely.
So.
But I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Try an elimination diet.
Elimination diets, guys. That was fun.
Might help you feel better.
Yeah. So, next week, yes,
what are we
next
talking
week.
About?
We are talking about rehab. Yes.
Injury.
Yes, I love this episode. Okay, so we're talking about injury, the difference between injury and hurt, if there's any sort of little aches and pains, and then rehabilitation. I love this topic. Please tune in. That's going to be episode 7. I can't wait.
7?
7. We're 7 episodes in, right?
Really? I think
No, this is 6. No, we're definitely episode 7. Going. This is episode 6.
That's going fast.
It's fun. Guys, if you guys have comments, let us know. I mean, if you guys, if there's topics.
Please give us feedback, or if you want us to talk about something.
Whatever. Fun topics.
Please help us out.
You want to ask a question about Arden? 2 weeks also, we will be starting, and we'll give out more information about this next week. 2 weeks, we're going to be starting Ashley's return, the return,
Workout plan.
her workout plan, and we're going to be sharing that with everybody in the Alpha Primal group.
We're going to have a separate group for anyone who wants to be a part of seeing these workouts and
We're
kind
gonna
of
need like some sort of live videos with some
accountability.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know if you want to join it. We'll be putting it out.
Maybe we'll do a. I gotta talk to the owner of my gym. Gotta talk to Eric. But maybe we'll do an outing one day with the group at the gym. A boot camp class with Pat.
Oh.
Cool. Listen. It's just an idea, guys. All right. So yeah, like I said, if you guys have any questions, you can either direct message us or you can email us at alphaprimal18@gmail.com. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.